We are taught in school to question most everything. At the same time, we are taught that evolution is now considered a fact and we are not allowed to question it. My question is, why is that? Is there enough evidence to move evolution into the fact category? The definition of fact, according to the dictionary, is something that actually exists, reality, truth that which corresponds to reality. Before something can be considered fact in science, we must be able to observe an event and prove an event through experimentation. I want to persuade you to look into evolution before believing in it. Just because some say it's true doesn't make it true, and just because it was forced onto us doesn't make it true. I want you to look into it yourself. For me, here is why I do not believe evolution is a fact. First, very famous scientist, senior paleontologist, at the British Museum of History, London, Dr. Colin Patterson states and quotes, "For over 20 years I was working on evolution and woke up one day and realized I didn't know a thing about it, for sure. That's quite a shock to learn that one can be so misled for so long. Either there was something wrong with me, or there was something wrong with evolutionary theory. Naturally, I know there's nothing wrong with me, so for the last few weeks I've tried asking this question to prominent scientists. Is there anything you can say you know for sure about evolution? I tried it on the members of the Evolutionary Morphology Seminar in the University of Chicago, very prestigious body of evolutionists, and all I got there was silence. Eventually someone did say, I do know one thing, it ought not to be taught in high school. Professor Louis Bonnier, former president of the Biological Society of Strasbourg and director of the Strasbourg Zoological Museum, states and quotes, "Evolution is a fairy tale for grown-ups. The theory has helped nothing in the progress of science. It is useless." My second reason I don't believe in evolution. The probability disproves the possibility according to reputable science. Sir Fred Hoyle, originator of the steady state theory of evolution, states and quotes, "The likelihood of the formation of life from inanimated matter is 1 to a number 40,000 knots after it. It is big enough to bury Darwin and the whole theory of evolution. There was no primeval soup, neither on this planet nor any other, and if the beginning of life were not random, they must therefore have been the product of purposeful intelligence." Hoyle also gives this analogy. The chance that higher life forms might have emerged in this way of evolution is comparable to the chances that a tornado sweeping through a junkyard might assemble a Boeing 747 from the materials that are there. Donald Page, Nobel Peace Prize winner, astronomer, states, given all the possible ways in which the constant could have obtained in a Big Bang, the odds of getting a universe capable of sustaining life is 1 chance in 10 followed by 1,240 zeros. In other words, the chances of it happening is so little that it is almost impossible. Third, according to some famous scientists, there is no transitional forms to fill in the gaps. According to Stephen Jay Gould, professor of geology and paleontology, Harvard University, states, and he quotes, "All paleontologists know that the fossil record contains precious little in the way of intermediate forms. Transitions between major groups are characteristically abrupt. The absence of fossil evidence for intermediary stages between major transitions in organic design, indeed, our inability, even in our imagination, to construct and functional intermediates in many cases has been a persistent and nagging problem for graduates' accounts of evolution. My final reason is the closer we look, the closer we look, the more complexity and organization we find. Michael Behe, Lehigh University, A Case for a Creator, Lee Strobel. Michael Behe states, and I quote, "Now we've probed to the bottom of life, so to speak. We're at the level of molecules and their complexity all the way down. We've learned the cells is horrendously complicated and that it's actually run by micro machines of the right shape, right strength, and right interactions. The existence of Lee's machines challenges and tests that Darwin himself provided. A test asked Darwin, said in his own Origin of Species, if it could be demonstrated that any complex organ existed which could not possibly have been formed by numerous successive slight modifications, my theory would absolutely break down. And that was the basis for irreducible complexity. You see, a system or device is irreducibly complex if it has a number of different components that all work together to accomplish the task of the system would no longer function. An irreducibly complex system is highly unlikely to be built piece by piece through Darwin's process, because the system has to be fully present in order for it to function in the first place. In short, Darwin's theory was shot out of the water. The complexity of cells is far more complex than Darwin thought could be. My goal is to get you to question what was forced upon us, and not just to accept it because they taught it to us. By them forcing a false belief onto us, it causes us to shut out the possibility of actual intelligent design.
So do you think, in a high school or collegiate setting, do you think that it would be appropriate to teach evolution alongside other theories or exclusively a specific
I
theory?
think that by only teaching evolution, I don't really see that as fair because the proof for it is kind of not necessarily sound. Like, there are still super famous scientists still debating the theory of evolution. So if they're still trying to figure out what the theory of evolution is, why are they teaching it to us?
So it'd be a good idea to perhaps touch on a multitude of bases just to make sure that
Yeah,
everything is at least touched on.
yeah, at least something with more facts behind it.
More fair.
Yeah.
Got it.